going to start right here with Newsmax. Quote, "We're not going to pay for health care for illegal aliens. That's against the law. We're not doing that." Speaker Mike Johnson called out senior Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for opposing the short-term continuing resolution to fund the government and avoid a shutdown.
And I think everybody will recognize that. I'll just say this. The ball is in Chuck Schumer's court. I hope he does the right thing. I hope he does not choose to shut the government down and inflict pain unnecessarily on the American people. I hope that they will vote on this clean short-term CR so that we can continue the work to get our appropriations done. I'll take a couple questions. Yes, sir.
Will you consider meeting with Schumer and Jeffries before October 1st, the shutdown date? And why haven't you done so far?
I'm always open to meeting with anybody to get our work done here, but there wasn't really much to discuss with Chuck Schumer because he decided and announced a while back that he was not going to go along for a clean short-term CR. Now, remember, he's always voted on these in the past. He's never had a problem with it ever before, but now suddenly he does, and there's no rational reason for him to do so. So wasn't much for us to discuss. Now, I do talk with Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat leader here, routinely, regularly, and he and I have had a lot of discussions about this, and I encouraged him to tell his folks that they should do the right thing so that we can continue in a bipartisan fashion to get the government funded. And they've chosen a different route, and I hope in the Senate they make a better decision. Yes, sir.
No, I believe that the Democrats are going to do anything and everything in their power to shut down the government and keep it shut down for as long as they can, because all they're going to simply do is gaslight everybody into believing that it's the Republicans. No, we didn't shut down the government. The Republicans did. We're not in control of what's going on here. We're not running the House. We're not running the Senate. We don't have a majority in anything. The Republicans have a majority in the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, the Oval Office. We're just a minority in everything. So what are they talking about? We're not shutting down anything. It's them who's shutting down the government.
In the event of a shutdown, are you open to negotiating with Schumer and Jeffries, or are you just going to wait out to see if they pass?
I mean, if Chuck Schumer's negotiation is that he wants to add $1.4 trillion in new spending, the answer is heck no. We're not doing
insane.
That. And we're not going to pay for health care for illegal aliens. That's against the law. We're not doing that. They're not being reasonable at all. A short-term CR is not a partisan exercise. We could have loaded this up with partisan
because they want to shut it down.
But we're not doing that because we're governing in a responsible manner. I hope Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate will do the same. So
because the Democrats, they're acting like they got nothing to lose. Because at this point, I think they really got nothing to lose.
Until after October 1st, the deadline. Do you plan to bring the House back next week, later, if the Senate doesn't pass this?
We haven't made final decisions on that. There's a lot of discussion about it. The members have a lot of work to do in the districts as well, and so we're always trying to balance those interests, work here and work in the district. We'll figure that out. But I'll just tell you, if Chuck Schumer intends to shut the government down, I don't see an easy route out of that, and there's going to be a lot of pain, and a lot of people will suffer from that unnecessarily. Think of it. We would not be paying our troops at a time.
I mean, we're talking about fucking Democrats
very serious conflict around the globe.
What are we doing here?
And we could go down the laundry list of things that would happen, and I hope they don't do that to the American people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I could be mistaken, but wouldn't that apply to Social Security checks too? To be honest, I actually read that on a Democrat tweet, or post, or whatever you want to call it. So can't say for sure that that's actually the case. I have a feeling that's not true, but it is money coming from the federal government, so maybe. And the same with military. Don't they not get paid if the government shuts down? You know what? Let me just ask Grok real quick. They've got Grok 4 Fast beta. So it's supposed to be a little faster. Whoops. Hope that didn't screw it up. Assessing the request. Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask for the short version. Will it let me edit? Oh, yeah, it will. Well, okay. Yeah, Social Security payments will continue to go out during the government shutdown. Okay, so the Democrats are fucking lying, as they usually do. All right, so... what about the military? I'm assuming the same thing. That checks are still going to go out. But maybe it's because they already have those payments allocated for the rest of the year. The whole fiscal year spending thing. Maybe that's what it applies to. Suppose I probably should have read more into that. Suppose I still can. They're funded through mandatory spending from the Social Security Trust Fund rather than discretionary appropriations that are typically affected by lapses in funding. This has been the case in all previous shutdowns, including those in 95, 96, and 2013. All right. So the payments are unaffected. Some SSA services may face delays or limitations, like benefit verifications, processing overpayments, new card issuance, or in-person assistance at field offices. Okay, so if you're trying to get on Social Security right now and they just approved you and you're just in that final approval process, that could cause some problems. The government shutdown, that is. It's possible starting on October 1st if Congress fails to pass funding legislation by September 30th. I'm definitely going to have my money on it shutting down. I think that's exactly what the Democrats want to do. As I already stated, they're going to blame the Republicans because they control everything right now, and it's just something just easy, convenient, mindless gaslighting that Democrat voters, constituents, they're just going to believe it. But anyway, so yeah, they will continue to report for, of course, and perform their essential duties. Let's see. As these are deemed accepted activities critical to national security. However, they will not receive pay until Congress passes and the president signs appropriations legislation, at which point compensation will be issued retroactively for the period of the lapse. Wow, man, I can't believe that's how they do that. That's absolutely wild. I figured that they would have had the military's paychecks all sorted out from the previous year, like the whole congressional budget. I know it's not exactly January 1st all the way through December 31st. I think it should be like that, but I don't know. I could understand why they don't want to have it that way, because that's during like the lame duck presidency period every 4 years, or not like the interim period. I don't know if I'm using the right term, lame duck. I don't know, but whatever. So that's it. We'll see where that goes, but I got my money on the shutdown. So from Eric Daugherty, breaking, it's just been exposed that Chuck Schumer and Democrats in Congress are demanding free health insurance for illegal aliens. $500 million for NPR. $500 million for NPR. That's so ridiculous. And a $1.5 trillion spending increase in exchange for averting a government shutdown. No way, stand strong. So this one's only a minute. Maybe he gives a little bit more information since he's being interviewed by Fox News. So we'll just take a look.
So we've been working really hard to get the House back to the regular appropriations regular order, and we've achieved that. In the House, in a bipartisan fashion, they passed all 12 appropriations bills through the committee, 3 of them off the floor. The Senate passed 3 bills. Remember the old videos on Saturday mornings about how a bill becomes a law? If the House and the Senate disagree on an appropriation spending bill, they go to a conference committee to work it out. We voted to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the process at which a bill is supposed to go through the House, the Senate, passed by or signed by the president. However, they don't really do that so much anymore. They just jam everything into one single super bill and they just pass all of it. That way, all the trash that nobody would in their right minds ever vote for, it gets included, because they say, well, if you want us to vote for this, you got to vote for that. And then they just combine like what? Probably not thousands, but hundreds of pieces of legislation. It's absolutely ridiculous. That should in no way be legal. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has spoken on that in the past, talking about how every single solitary bill should individually be put through the House. And the pushback is, do you have any idea how long that would take? It would take forever to pass legislation. Well, that's good. That means only the most important pieces of legislation would get passed, instead of a bunch of garbage that we don't need and probably only services, you know, the higher ups, the elites, the big corporations, and everything else except for the American taxpayer.
All this is working well, but we're coming up on the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. So we need a few more weeks to finish this good work. So what we did in a responsible manner as Republicans in charge is we offered a totally clean short-term CR to get that job done. Chuck Schumer saw that. He returned a counteroffer that is filled with partisan wish lists and poison pills and demands. It includes, for example, Brett, what Chuck Schumer is arguing for. He wants to reinstate free health care for illegal aliens. He wants to add $500 million to prop up liberal media outlets. And he wants to add a massive $1.4 trillion spending hike to what should be a simple 7-week stopgap funding measure. We can't do that. We're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious. He's asking for things that he knows that nobody is going to go for. He's deliberately asking for insane shit. It's exactly what he's doing. Speaker Mike Johnson, House Democrats had the chance to do the right thing for the American people, but chose $1.4 trillion in partisan demands like free health care for illegal aliens, over keeping the government open for our own citizens. Now, if Senate Democrats block our clean short-term CR to keep the government open, they alone will own the consequences of a shutdown. The American people are watching. Yeah, they're watching, but they will own it. They technically will own it, but they're not going to say that they're going to own it. They're just going to blame it on Republicans by saying that they're in charge, not them, not the Democrats.
To try to make this a partisan exercise.
We probably just saw this.
And Hakeem Jeffries as well. And it's wrong to do that. And so if they choose to vote against this clean, completely nonpartisan CR, then they will be choosing to shut the government down, and they will owe the consequences of what happens following that. So I think it's a very shameful turn of events. I hope they do the right thing, and Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate have an opportunity to do that. Everybody in America can see what happens with it.
Yep.
Schumer.
Yeah. I still stand on what I said before. All right, from the GOP, quote, if the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer the most. A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos. Chuck Schumer. Oh, well, we just found out that he's completely full of shit. It was actually Chuck Schumer who said that. I thought I just read that in passing earlier today by just some random Democrat, and it turns out it's Chuck Schumer. And I'm surprised the GOP didn't clarify. Maybe they actually clarify in another post. I doubt it. No, Democrats are the agents of chaos. Yeah, that's true. All right, that's from yours truly. So, you know what? While I'm here, I'll just play it here.
If the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most. A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos, as the Social Security Administration limits certain services like benefit verifications or fixing
Okay, all right, so he's not lying then.
errors in payments. Our veterans
All right,
could
I'll
see
concede
regional
that. I
VA
stand
offices
corrected.
shut down and support services put on hold. Some of our military service members could be forced to work without pay. Families who benefit from WIC and
So basically what he's saying is that if you don't give illegal immigrants free health care that the American taxpayers have to pay for, then I am going to take away the paychecks of all the military servicemen and women. That's what he's saying. He's holding our military's paychecks hostage in order to get illegal immigrants to pay or to receive free healthcare, quote unquote free. Taxpayer funded healthcare for illegals. Fucking insane, man.
other nutrition programs could see benefits halted. If the
All right,
government
whatever, man. Fuck